Yo, Piapari Sasikal, and a warm welcome after a short commercial break. This is myself, RJ Raman, every Sundays 2 to 4 on the RJ Raman Show. So, like every Sundays, I'm always in chit chat and conversation with some form of artist, music producer, songwriter, or some talented person in our society and world. And today I've got a very interesting guest. I mean, you know, a lot of his fans, they've always messaged me constantly that when will we have this artist on the show? And I finally got hold of them. And it's an absolute pleasure. I mean, the worldwide who are tuned in right now on Akash Radio 1323 AM Leeds, and worldwide on www.akashradialeeds.co.uk, they all are excited to have this guy, this artist, I would say this legend in the making on the show today. And I'm talking about the man himself, the iconic, inspirational, international artist, Roach Killa, right? He's made a massive fan following worldwide, and he's practically worked with every single artist in the music scene. I mean, mentioning Bilal Saeed, Naseebo Lal, Gary Sandhu, Miss Pooja, and mentioning the Crown Prince of Bhangra, Jazzy B as well, and he's worked with various other artists. I mean, his journey's like almost like a movie because he's worked with so many big names, and his portfolio has grown massive in these past few years. And today he's come back with a brand new album, a set of 8 tracks titled as Verified. I mean, very interesting album. He's got new artists on there, he's got new talent on there, and it's been produced by himself as well. So we're going to be talking about that album and talk about things what we noticed in the music scene as well. So, Roach Killa, Piapari Sasikal, and a warm welcome on the show. How are you doing?
Good, how are you doing, my brother?
All good, all good. Absolute pleasure that we've got you on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. So, I mean, from your debut album to New Revolution and now Verified, how's the journey been so far for you?
Oh, it's been great, man. It's been 10 years, and not to say I've dropped the album 10 years ago and then I disappeared. I mean, since I dropped the album, there's been so much work, so much, features I've done, collaborations, so many hits, so many big artists I've worked with. It's just been a blessing, man. It's been crazy.
Fantastic.
Crazy journey.
Fantastic. I mean, you've got a massive portfolio of artists you worked with. I mean, talking about, Bilal Saeed, Naseebo Lal, Gary Sandhu, Miss Pooja, and Jazzy B. I mean, you've grown a massive portfolio in these past years. I mean,
Yippee Garwal, I mean, Geeta Jalda, I mean, just name it. I mean, I've worked with the best of the best, K.S. Muckin, of course,
Wow.
So it's been a crazy journey. I'm in here, big shout out, go out to I'm in here. So yeah, man, it's just been an amazing journey, and it's come to 10 years. So I think it was really, important for me to drop the album, just kind of give all the fans. It wasn't one by one, you come out with a track and then you disappear for a bit and you come back with a track. So it's about, 8 tracks for the new album, just for people to enjoy different sides of Roach Killa, not just one of those, poppy commercial tracks. It gives you different variations of the artist.
Fantastic. I mean, tell us about Verified then. I mean, the album. I mean, tell us about the album. How did it all come together?
Well, the thing was, like I mentioned, I've worked with the biggest names in the industry. I've done numerous tracks with different people. But this album, because I've gotten so much love from the fans and from the different artists around the world, this album was really about me producing music and putting the other artists more in the forefront. So, as you can see, there's a track called Shooting Star. There's an artist called Shivankar.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's from Chandigarh, India. He has never done an original song in his life. He's a great artist, but he's always doing cover songs, And he's never done a song ever in his life, so I wanted to take that to the forefront. I wanted to push his talent to the forefront, and he's such a great artist, and he's getting a great response for that. Then you got Sikandar Kalon, who's an upcoming Punjabi rapper from Mohali, so push him to the forefront. We got Happy Singh, who actually is from Southampton, and he wrote the Naseebo Lal track, actually, the lyrics, and then it was only inevitable I had to feature him as an artist himself on the album. So I wanted to basically showcase new artists and to show people that you don't need big names to have good songs and timeless music, and that's what this album's really about.
Fantastic. I mean, it's very rare you actually come across artists like yourself bringing out those artists who are just doing cover songs, and to showcase them on an international level, that's just big itself.
It's just, because we've been in the game for so long, where do you go from there? I've had so much fun and so much experience and working with everyone, and it's good to give back sometimes, because if you get that love, it's really important to show that love back to the youth, back to the kids coming up, and to show people that, believe in yourself and dreams can come true.
Wow. Fantastic. It's absolutely true. I mean, we see, the technology now. Practically every single person's got a YouTube channel. There's various, talented people out there, young lads who are like into music, and they showcase their stuff as cover songs, and and for an artist yourself to actually think that's kind of a big thing to think about, to bring them, in the real world.
How mature बंदे हैं?
they देखो ये mature बंदे हैं।
सियाने हो गए पर।
वाह जी वाह, क्या बात है, क्या
न्याणे तो सियाने हो गए।
Fantastic. Roach Killa, I'm always in talks with various artists and producers on the show, and we always have a discussion regarding a topic or something what's made a massive impact in the music scene. Like a few days back, I saw a post of yours previously, and it was a very interesting question you actually put up, saying, do you respect an artist because of the views they have or the quality of the music? Now, do you think that the perspective of music has changed since the past years, as more being judged on the views rather than the quality of the music?
100%. Because, say for example, somebody shows you a song that's got 5,000 views, and then somebody shows you another song of another artist that's got 50,000 views. Without even knowing, subconsciously, you're going to be more attracted towards a song with 50,000 views because you're assuming monkey see, monkey do. So it's like, everybody's liking this song, so this must be good. Yeah. So suddenly what's happened is with the social media age is like you have stopped thinking for yourself, and basically you've kind of led without even realizing that you've led to think what is needed to be thought. Do you get what I'm saying? You're losing your own thought process. So like if you look at my album, I just dropped the album, the first track off the album's got 10,000 views in 2 weeks. I could be one of those artists and say, you know what, bro, for our caliber artists like me, I should have 2 million right now in 2 weeks. Why do I only have 200,000? Guys, let's push it. Let's buy some views. It don't work like that, because at the end of the day, I know that those are generic 200,000 views. So I know who's listening for me, who's not, how I could better myself, and how I can get more closer to the people, and who I could reach and what's my target market. So this is how you understand your market, and this is how you understand your game. Definitely. So, but if I went and bought those fake views and had 2 million, everybody else might perceive it like, oh my God, Rose got 2 million views. But when I come home and I look in the mirror in the night and I sleep, I'm going to have that conscience and say, you know what,
definitely.
Right? So, I'm not into that, because like now what's happened, I don't know if you noticed, Instagram is taking out the likes and the views.
Yep. I've noticed that. I've definitely noticed that. Yes.
So now what's happened is people are actually watching the video for the sake of the video rather than to see how many hits it's got, how many likes it has, or how many comments it has.
Yeah.
They're looking at the actual project. They're looking at the actual body of work. And that's, I think, what's needed in this industry. So if YouTube was to take that out, the view count, then I think a lot more music will be appreciated rather than the image and the gimmick. And that's what it's really about.
Yeah, definitely. Talking about like the quality of music, there's a lot of people out there, who kind of, like you said, rely on the higher views. For example, if we mention, various artists who are very popular at the time now, and like you mentioned, they get millions and millions of views overnight in 24 hours, which is very surreal to think, how they've managed to achieve that,
Well, bro, this is what I said. I don't know if you saw one of my posts. I said, some Punjabi artists are getting 1 million, 2 million views in 24 hours, and Drake only gets like 500,000. Yep. Maybe Drake should learn something from them.
Yep.
So, you get what I mean?
Exactly. To the point, real talk here.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, पागल किन्नू बना रहे थे मैंने ही अपने आप में.
बिल्कुल. It's a point.
You know what I mean?
It's a point to be raised, to be honest, because it's actually practically a bit of a joke what's going on.
It is a joke. Like, look, it's beyond a joke. But you know what the problem is? The problem is the normal public doesn't have a clue about these things. Not because they're stupid or anything.
Yeah.
It's because they're not looking at the back end. They're just looking for what the face value is, and that's where the people are taking advantage of the situation. I'm not saying it's not good to promote. It's not good to. It's essential nowadays to promote, and people get YouTube, Google ads on their videos, and it's essential. It's just like any other business, like Coke, Pepsi. Why do they still advertise? Even though they don't need to, they're a worldwide brand, but they still advertise because that's part of a business. However, be real with it.
Definitely.
Don't just get carried away. You know what I mean? If you're gonna promote and you're getting 2, 3, 400,000 in a day, it's still believable by people because you have a massive fan base.
Yeah.
But when you're saying 2 million views overnight, किधरों आए ने?
बिल्कुल
केड़ा बंदा बैठा है 24 घंटे तेरी वीडियो देख रहा है?
बिल्कुल सच्ची गल है. Absolutely bang on right to the point, because it is very surreal. Because, you know, if you look at the day and age we're living in, I mean, everyone's got their own stress. You know, someone's stressed with their education, someone's busy in their business. They haven't got the time to sit on the screen all day to just watch the video, just keep on watching and repeat. Like,
bro, I get messages all the time. People saying, "Paji, very Frantic blue kara denne toda. Paji, million views kara denne. Inna ka ho charge." You know what I mean? But I don't. First of all, don't respond, or I'll play with their head. Be like, okay, how much do you want? What is it? Like, you know, just to see what they do. It's a business, and I get it. But listen, stop fooling the public. Please, because it's what's happened is because of that, quantity is taking over quality, and the real artists are you know, getting pushed to the back because the fake artists have decided to buy fake views and put themselves in the forefront. So I'll give you an example. What happens is, say you're watching a video of an artist legend like Jazzy B, and he put a track out because he's not buying fake views, and he's got 500,000 overnight because he's got such a massive fan base. But then you have a new artist X, and he's put out a song, and suddenly he's got 2 million views overnight. So public suddenly is perceiving that, oh, this artist is being more successful than the legend, which is not true at all.
Not true at all, yeah. Definitely.
At all. Like, I give people this example. Look, you can have 100,000 followers. You can have 500 million views. But if you're walking down the street and no one's asking you for a picture, you know what's up.
Yeah. 100%.
That's how it goes.
Wow.
Right.
That's just clear cut to the point, you know. Fantastic.
Simple, bro. मैं सीधी गल कर रहा हूँ. मैं मारी गल नहीं करता. सीधी गल मुंह से कर देना.
Wow, that's what we want.
I'm not worried, bro. I'm not worried about that because I've been in the game for 15 years, bro. If I quit today, I've accomplished so much. I don't business, but it's our duty to stand up to show the kids and upcoming artists that, yo, you have a chance. Don't get disheartened about this fake virtual reality of the social media that we're living in. That's not real.
Yeah, 100%. It's all, I would say, considered to is more, I mean, social media is not really something what a person should rely on that much, in a way.
Well, bro, I'll give you an example. Like, I study these facts and stuff, the analytics and stuff, right? So it's like this. Look, a person has 1 million followers, okay? Whether they're legit, whether they're bought, whatever the case may be. 1 million followers, right?
Yeah.
And out of those 1 million followers, you'll get, on a post, you'll get maximum, even if I'm saying pushing it, you're getting 5,000 comments.
Yeah.
Okay? 5,000. Chalo 10 ke lo, 10,000 comments, right? So that's 1% of your following.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
1% of your following. So what does that say about social media? You have 1 million people following you, but only 1% is commenting. And how much of that 1% is actually buying your stuff or streaming it? How much of that 1% is really going to be coming out to your shows and putting money in your pocket?
Yeah. Exactly.
How many people are actually legally downloading that 1%? It's none of that. It don't make a difference. Yes, social media is a platform. It's like another thing like TV. Say, for example, you're watching EastEnders, right? There's 60 million people in England. EastEnders is on TV. Do you think 60 million people are watching that? No.
Nope.
Maximum 2 million people are going to watch it.
Yeah. 100%.
So look at the numbers, the stats, the different stats. It's not like, that's not everything. So don't get fooled by it.
Definitely. That's to the point. I mean, it's a subject what, you know, a lot of people need to think about this very carefully because it's kind of, you know, it has actually heavily affected the industry.
100%. Kitty fault.
So
fault makes it. And the thing is, the radio stations and the media, they thrive off of that as well. I'm not pointing any fingers. What I'm saying is, they're also responsible because they're a voice to the community. Be very wise in picking what you're portraying.
100%, 100% to the point. I mean, that's a real talk there. Coming back to Verified. The artists
Sorry,
out
man,
there.
you went off on a
Roach
tantrum.
Killa. It was an interesting conversation, though.
It's not the average conversation every artist has with you, right?
Yeah, definitely. Talking about Verified. There's artists out there. Every week there's always a single track coming out, but you've got massive. It's a massive album, I would say. You've got 8 tracks with various artists. So, what was the reason why you did a full album rather than doing a single?
Well, the thing was, over the 10 years, I've done so many songs, but what happened is sometimes, at some point, I wanted to, showcase my production skills, and what happened was, when I'm working with other producers, as much as I'm giving my input, it's not being credited.
Yeah.
So I wanted to show a different side of Roach Killa. I'm not just the artist, I also wanted to show the production and the music composition side of things, and as obviously we get older, as a rapper, as a singer, there's a lifeline, and you have to think about longevity. And what my whole perception of the game was that after a certain amount of years, I want to step back a bit. I want to get into the music production and start pushing new artists and help them. Any hurdles that I crossed, any hurdles that I fell over, I'd help them and make sure that they don't fall over it, they can jump over it, so I can assist them. And that's what this album is really about, is showcasing my production skills to showcase that, look, I'm not just an artist singing. I understand music fully from A to Z. I can understand composition, the right, and I'm going to push new artists to the forefront. And anybody that wants to work, please contact me. It's not about money. It's about having talent and passion. If I feel the energy and if I feel you have the same passion, then, we could work. It's not always about the money. Yes, it's my bread and butter, but at the end of the day, it's passion that drives us to do this.
Definitely.
So that's what this album's about, and that's why 10 years, new decade coming up, 2020, and there's a different phase of Roach Killa. You have to change with the times. You can't just be the same person for the next 10 years.
Definitely, fantastic. Talking about your life journey. You were born in Libya, then migrated to Canada in a very small age. Now you're in the UK. Do you think that your music has been more popular due to working in the UK compared to being in Canada?
100%, and that's not because there was no talent or stuff out there. It's because the outlets weren't there when I was doing music back 10 years ago. There was first of all, there was no YouTube to begin with back 10 years, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So YouTube only came around about 9 years ago, so at least we started using it. There was no radio stations in Canada that were playing, urban music like that. It was more for the moms and dads. Yeah. So there was a lot of lack of resources. So that's why when I came to the UK, obviously you guys had the whole setup of, generations and generations. So you got back then you had the ZTVs, then the Asians came around, BBC, you guys, Raj FM, all these different stations were there in place. So the music, got out to the public, and not just the public locally, but it got out to the world, because everybody used to look at the UK Asian music as the hub of urban Punjabi music, Yeah. So that helped me, obviously, exploit my music to the masses, and, God bless, I even got a chance and did a few songs in Bollywood films. Yeah. So, I give most of my credit to UK for allowing my music to be exploited to the world, and, so big up to all the UK fans who have supported, and the media and the TVs.
Fantastic. We get loads of, to be honest, I've had various artists, and even the artists what I've worked with yourself as well. And, I've had many people questioning me. Everyone's been messaging me, when is Roach Killa coming on the show, right? So I've got a question which one of your fans has given me. He's called Lovejeet Singh, right? He's based in India. Yeah. He's a massive fan of yours, and he's also a massive fan of another artist you worked with, which is the Crown Prince of Bhangra, Jazzy B. Right? So his question that, you've worked with Jazzy B in the past in the Dynamite song. When are we going to see you two both again on another track?
Probably next month, bro.
Wow.
We've done a song. I've actually produced a song for the Crown Prince, Jazzy B. The track's called All Eyes on Me. It's Jazzy's single this time. I've also featured on it. I didn't even want to feature on the track. I just wanted to produce it for Jazzy. I just wanted Jazzy to take the forefront and just be all about Jazzy. But he goes to me, he's like, nah, bro, you got to jump on the track. So I was like, okay, I can't say no to Jazzy, can I? So we done the track. We shot the video. We're just waiting for a couple of things to iron out, and then the track should come out. So I'm hoping it comes out in the next month or two. If not, it definitely come out early next year. And it's called All Eyes on Me. The lyrics are written... The lyrics are written by GV as well as Lali Mundi. Lali Mundi is the guy who's written One Touch for me and Gary Sundar,
Wow.
So Lali Mundi is a great artist, writer. So yeah, so don't worry, Navjeet. It's coming, bro.
Fantastic, fantastic. I mean, the fans, I mean, worldwide, I mean, Roach Killa, Jazzy B, I mean, the concept is fantastic. You know, it works very well, right? So two Canadians together.
Yes, Canada connection. Yeah, Canadian connection.
How about that? I mean, like every person, Roach, I mean, most of the world's population is now on social media. I mean, no matter if it's like Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I mean, there's a lot of crazy people out there who are doing a lot of TikToking videos as well, right? Snapchat.
Yeah.
So, but when it comes down to Roach Killa, I mean, do you prefer posts from celebrities or like your best friends on social media?
To be honest, the thing is, if I wasn't a musician, I would think I would hardly be on social media, because the thing is, bro, we come from a generation like if somebody wants to say something to me or post something, phone check the phone kar lo mainu.
Yeah.
So it's like a point but because we're musicians, you have to stay connected to the world, via social media. It's a must, and that's the main reason why I'm on it. So I monitor what's happening out there. It just allows me to kind of like know what's happening, what's current, what's moving. Yeah. So that way you stay connected with the fans and stuff. But otherwise, I'm not a big social media fan in terms of I keep my life private, you know what I mean? I try to keep it as private as can, and only musical aspects you'll see on the... Or sometimes what I do is I exercise people's brains and I put math trivias on.
Yeah. Wow.
And like I get people exercising their brains, and sometimes people say, teacher bani. Yes, and no, what it is you guys have gone really dumb. People have gone so dumb. They've stopped focusing on what really matters and start focusing on materialistic stuff. You know what I mean? So so sometimes I throw out the math trivias, exercise people's brains, and it's cool, man. It's good entertainment to watch, and people interact, and it's good to get them, kids working the brain.
Fantastic. I mean, you've travelled practically every country and performed on stage, right? And tell us a bit about the greatest things of your experience when you're on tour, especially meeting fans. I mean, did you ever imagine that one day a crowd would be waiting for you to arrive on stage and they clap and cheer for you? I mean, have you ever imagined that?
You know what? It wasn't even a thought. I mean, I've been doing this since I was 12, so it's always been my part of my life. So that wasn't the amazing part. The amazing part was when I got to travel to Mumbai and perform at the GMA Awards, which is the Global Indian Music Academy Awards. Wow. So it's like the Oscars, if you want to say. And I performed there in 2012, and you had Shah Rukh Khan in the crowd, Mika Singh, Salim Sulaiman, Sonu Nigam. All these people were sitting there, and I got to perform on that stage. And, I had like 36 dancers behind me. So if you haven't seen this, go on YouTube and take a look. It's called Roach Killa and GIMA, G-I-M-A. And you'll see the performance. And that was really surreal, because a young kid born in Africa, loving Bollywood, going to Canada, coming to UK, and then eventually ending up on the big stage, which is Bollywood. It doesn't get any bigger than that for us, in terms of Asian people.
Yeah.
So that was the most surreal moment and surreal performance for me in my life. I mean, everything else is obviously a memory, but that was one of the pinnacles of my life. That was the highlight. And hopefully I can achieve more and more.
Fantastic. Roach, sometimes with time, priorities change in a person's way of lifestyle and the thought process. I mean, since you have been in the music scene, have you ever felt this has brought any changes in your life and the way of living as how it was before coming into music?
No, because like I said, I've been doing music since 12, and it's all I really was into. Like, my parents were my dad was very religious and very tight, so he wasn't really into me going to be a musician. So we had our differences, but that didn't ever really stop me. I mean, I did my education and I got my degree in that, but that's to fall back on. It's not something I want to even pursue. And music is my life, and this is my passion. This is what I do, and I made it a career. But there's been challenges, obviously, if I'm coming from Canada to UK. Like, I came to this country with 300 quid in my pocket, and I slept on people's couches and mattresses and in studios. So, you know what I mean? So that just shows that hard work, if you have the drive, you can make anything possible. So I'm just very happy that, I worked hard for something all my life, and I achieved it. I've been in the game for over 10 years, and, surviving, and still, God bless, the name brand is still respectful and current. And it's not easy, man, because people in my age, when I started, and days I started, they've come and gone and nowhere to be found. And, we're still here, so, I must be doing something right, and that's all up to the man upstairs blessing me with his, blessings, man, and I'm really humbled by that.
Fantastic, fantastic. Real words from the man himself, Roach Killa. I mean, fantastic. Right. So, I mean, you know, in the show, right, we're always doing something more humorous, meaning on-the-spot questions, right? So I've got a set of questions just to add a bit of humor on the show, right? So, for the first one, right, so what's the weirdest thing a guest has done in your home?
I didn't catch that question. What did you say?
What's the weirdest thing a guest has done at your house?
A guest has done at my house?
Yeah, a weirdest thing.
Ooh,
most weirdest.
First of all, I don't really allow randoms in my house, first of all. So the people that do come, they're as weird as me. But the worst thing, I mean, not the weirdest thing, but one of the worst things was somebody dropped a glass of JD and Coke all over my laptop, which is my life.
No.
And that was one of the worst things ever. It wasn't weird, but it was really bad. And, you know, I'm going to blow the query.
Oh my god. That's the worst thing what could happen anyway.
If you can't handle your daughter, don't be coming here.
Right. So the second one. So what would be the worst buy one, get one free sale of all times?
Buy one, get one free?
Yeah.
A YouTube view.
I knew that was coming. We had to mention the YouTube.
Buy one view, get one free.
Oh. So, I mean, the third one now, if you were... so just imagine, if you were home on a rainy Sunday afternoon, what movie would you most want to see on television?
Well, I'll give you both options. One Bollywood and one English.
Yeah.
English would be The Shawshank Redemption. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Wow. Very interesting movie. Very interesting movie.
Oh, I love that film. The Shawshank Redemption. And for a Desi film, I'll probably watch Company. So RJ Devgan.
Wow.
That's one of my favorite films. Either that or Vastav.
You know, I didn't expect you to say Company because that film was very interesting though. The script, the screenplay was
Company was crazy. I love that film. And RJ Devgan, I mean, in that film, he was really good. So was Vivek O'Brien, you know. But the film is based obviously on the underworld of India, so it was pretty interesting to begin with.
Wow, fantastic. So the next one, if animals could talk, which would be the most rudest?
Animals, which would be the most rudest? I think we already know that parrots are probably the rudest. They already can talk a little bit, and they can say a few words that you might not like.
Oh man. So the last question in the on-the-spot questions is, if Roach Killa had the choice to rewind back a great memory in life that you mostly miss, what would it be and why?
A great memory that I'd like to rewind in my life. You know, I know that's going to sound cheesy, but I wouldn't rewind anything in my life because everything has been great, and what I know in the future is going to hold is going to be even greater. So I think I'm content with where I am in life, and I'm really happy for all the things, the memories that I've created, and I know there's going to be a lot more crazy ones coming up, so I'm happy where I am.
Fantastic. Absolute pleasure, Roach, to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolute pleasure. I mean, what message you want to give to your fans out there who are listening to us now on Akash Radio right now? What message you want to give? I just
want to say thank you to everybody supporting me from day one. Please go check out the album Verified. It's on Jukebox and YouTube, so you can listen to it for free if you don't have any of the digital platforms. The videos are out. Go check them out. The advice I want to give you guys is that even, it doesn't have to be music. Anything in life that you put your mind to, you can achieve it. You just got to have the passion and the drive. Nothing comes overnight. When people say, oh, this guy's an overnight success, you might see that, but there's 10 years behind that overnight. So, you just be happy in your own skin. Don't worry about what people are doing, because everybody else that you're worrying about, they're sitting watching you and worrying about you. So it's a circle of life. So just be happy what you do, focus, and just go get it, man.
Fantastic. Absolute pleasure, Roach. I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show, and hoping the very best for your musical career. And
Thank you.
I'm hoping to have you in the studio next time because it'll be an interesting
Definitely,
conversation.
we'll get into the studio. We'll do a live session or something. Yeah?
We have to do it. It'll be interesting to see you live on direct. And क्योंकि देखो अपना एक स्वाद होता है, you know.
Of course. तो मैं क्या जान तो पहले फिर ਆਪਾਂ ਸਵਾਦ ਦੇ ਜਣੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਹਦੇ ਆ ਦਿਲ ਤੇਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਵਾਰਾਂਗਾ ਗੀਤ ਕੋਲ ਨਿਭਾਵਾਂਗਾ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀ ਪਰਵਾਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਬਾਜ਼ੀ ਲਾਵਾਂਗਾ ਯਾਰਾ ਦਿਲਦਾਰਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਯਾਰਾ ਦਿਲਦਾਰਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਨਾ girl you like an explosion dynamite ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਆ girl I make you mine you like an explosion hold her tight Sara din Sara that girl you blow my mind girl I'm all broken cause you don't wanna know me lately wanna na 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 girl I'm all broken cause you would never appreciate me tera bhi dil tutna dil todne wali hai nahi क्या बात है स्वाद ही ले आता fantastic lovely absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, guys. Akash Radio, big up for always supporting me. Thank you so much. And next time we'll be in the studio live with instrumentation and we'll do some pataka stuff. You know? Definitely. Absolute pleasure, and I'm hoping the very best. And yeah, God bless. Thank you. Take care. One love, Roach Killa signing off. Yo, that was the live exclusive conversation with the man himself, Roach Killa, on the show today. I mean, it was an absolute pleasure. We got him on the show because there was a lot of things to talk about. I mean, a lot of things to talk about the Verified album and also to talk about the social media side of things. I mean, it's made a massive impact in the UK punk rock scene, and you know, it had to be spoken. I mean, it was an interesting conversation, and because there's a lot of things what we always forget about, which is like looking at the music side of things rather than looking at the views or the YouTube views, because we always look at that side. So we need to somehow actually stop doing that, because it's actually I would class it as a bad habit, you know, because end of the day we should be looking at the music, the content, the style, you know, what it actually is given to what sort of content is getting given to the music scene. I mean, you know, we need to look at that side of things rather than looking at the views. I mean, like Roach Killa mentioned, I mean, it's a sad thing, I would say, that people presume that, you know, looking at those views, what are like over 2 million overnight, think is more popular, you know. I would say that's a bit the wrong side of looking at things, because you need to look at the music. That's the first thing I would say. I mean, from my side, I mean, I've grown up listening to various type of music, and I always look at the music rather than the views or the popularity, because there are various artists out there who haven't been as popular, but they have actually given very good content. So yeah, so that was a live exclusive conversation with Roach Killa, and yes, so I'll be back after this short commercial break because we're going to having loads of new tracks going to be playing as well, and a bit of some golden era music as well. So I'll be back after the short commercial break. This is myself, RJ RAMAN, back on the show after this short commercial break.